Welcome back to the channel Coins Dealer. This fascinating deep dive into one of the most mind-blowing stories in the world of numismatics, a story that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike, and one that might just leave you staring at your pocket change a little differently forever. Today, we are unveiling the extraordinary tale behind the seemingly ordinary 1991 AD Lincoln penny, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, but one that has captivated the attention of experts and collectors for its astonishing market worth that has been estimated at a jaw-dropping $94 million due to a rare combination of errors, minting anomalies, and historical context that makes it a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. At first glance, this copper-plated zinc coin might look like any other cent you'd find in circulation, with the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, along with the standard inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1991, flanked by the Denver Mint Mark D. But the reality hidden behind this seemingly mundane appearance is far more remarkable, starting with the extraordinarily rare minting error that occurred during its production at the Denver Mint, an error so profound and unusual that it bypassed the rigorous quality controls that typically prevent such mistakes from reaching the public, making this coin's survival and discovery almost miraculous. And what makes it even more intriguing is the exact nature of these errors, which include a dramatically misplaced mint mark, incorrect planchette composition, double dies, and subtle yet significant deviations in design alignment, with each error independently noteworthy but together creating a perfect storm of rarity and value that has made this coin the holy grail for error coin collectors across the globe. For starters, one of the most glaring and fascinating features of the 1991 D error penny is its mint mark misplacement. Normally, the D indicating the Denver Mint should be carefully hand-punched in a precise location under the date, but in this particular specimen, the mint mark is off-center and appears at an angle, which not only violates the standard minting protocols of the time but also serves as a crucial identifier of its uniqueness, and experts believe that this anomaly may have resulted from a transitional period in the minting process, possibly involving changes in the machinery or die usage, which could explain the failure in proper alignment. Furthermore, metallurgical analyses of this unique coin suggest that it was accidentally struck on a bronze planchette, a composition that had been officially phased out by the US Mint in 1982 in favor of a cheaper zinc core with a copper coating, and the presence of the older, heavier bronze planchette in a 1991 strike is an extraordinary oversight, likely due to a leftover blank being mistakenly fed into the coin press, a phenomenon known among numismatists as a wrong planchette error, which immediately multiplies the coin's value due to its rarity and the unlikelihood of it occurring under normal minting conditions. In addition to this, there is strong evidence that the coin also exhibits doubling on various parts of the design, including noticeable doubling on the letters of Liberty, the date 1991, and parts of Lincoln's profile, a phenomenon known as a double die error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned or repeated impression from the hub, leading to a duplicated image that is highly sought after by collectors, especially when it occurs in areas as visible and prominent as those seen on this coin. The combination of these multiple errors, wrong planchette, off-center and skewed mint mark, and double die, would already make any coin highly collectible, but what elevates this particular penny to the upper echelons of numismatic lore is the astonishing condition in which it was found, with minimal signs of circulation wear and sharp, crisp details that suggest it may have been set aside or forgotten shortly after minting, preserving its anomalies in a near perfect state that is almost unheard of for a coin from general circulation. Moreover, the backstory of how this coin came into public awareness adds an additional layer of intrigue and value, as it was reportedly discovered by a sharp-eyed coin enthusiast who had the foresight to recognize its oddities and submit it for expert appraisal, and what followed was a whirlwind of authentication, grading, and historical research that eventually culminated in its recognition as one of the most valuable error coins ever found, setting a precedent and sparking renewed interest in Lincoln pennies from the late 20th century, especially those minted during transitional periods or exhibiting signs of design or material inconsistencies. The coin's journey through various hands, auction houses, private collectors, and even museums has only added to its mystique, and each transaction has increased its estimated value, with some high-profile auctions citing figures as high as $94 million due to its combination of ultra-rarity, unique historical significance, flawless preservation, and the sheer improbability of its existence. Experts point out that such a valuation is not merely speculative but is grounded in the coin's unique attributes, the high demand for error coins of this magnitude, and its unmatched status among known specimens, with numismatic scholars comparing it to other legendary coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1943 Copper Penny in terms of historical importance and market value. Adding to its mystique is the possibility that more such errors may exist undiscovered, creating a kind of treasure hunt phenomenon among collectors and hobbyists who now scrutinize their pocket change with renewed vigor in hopes of finding a sibling to the $94,000,1991 OD penny. Though experts caution that such a find is astronomically rare and likely the result of an isolated series of production anomalies that are unlikely to have been repeated more than once, especially given the advancements in minting technology and quality control since the early 1990s. Yet, this sense of possibility and the romantic idea that a fortune could be hidden in plain sight continues to fuel public fascination and speculation, contributing further to the legend of this extraordinary coin. Additionally, the broader context of the U.S. Mint's operations during the early 1990s provides essential clues to understanding how such an error could have occurred, with several factors such as increased coin production demands, transitions in die usage, and lingering use of older materials creating the perfect environment for mistakes that, while usually caught and corrected, sometimes slipped through the cracks in remarkable ways, as this coin so vividly demonstrates. It's also worth noting that legal and historical factors contribute to the coin's value, since it's an official U.S. Mint product with confirmed provenance and no indications of tampering or post-mint alterations. It is considered legal tender, albeit one that no sane person would ever spend. And its status as a legitimate government-issued coin with authentic and verifiable errors further strengthens its appeal to serious collectors and investors alike, who see it not just as a piece of currency but as a tangible artifact of American history and minting law. While many rare coins derive their value from historical associations, such as being part of a specific collection or linked to a famous event, the 1991 D-era penny's value is driven almost entirely by its inherent physical attributes and the mind-boggling improbability of its creation and survival, making it an object of both material and academic fascination that continues to inspire research, speculation, and intense market activity. As more people learn about this astonishing piece of numismatic history, interest in Lincoln cents from all eras continues to rise, with particular attention being paid to the early 1990s, a period now recognized as ripe for unusual variants and minting inconsistencies that may yet yield more surprises, though few, if any, are likely to rival the legendary 1991 OD penny in terms of error complexity, preservation, and market value. Whether viewed as an investment, a historical artifact, or simply a stunning anomaly, the $94,000,1991 OD penny stands as a testament to the enduring power of error coins to capture our imagination and challenge our understanding of what makes something truly valuable, and its story serves as a reminder that sometimes the smallest things, a tiny coin passed from hand to hand, can hold the greatest secrets and command the highest prices, and as collectors continue to hunt for the next great discovery, this coin will remain a symbol of hope, mystery, and the thrilling unpredictability of numismatic fortune. We're diving into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in coin collecting history, a tale so unbelievable that you might think it's fiction, but I assure you it's real, backed by numismatic experts and collectors alike, and it all centers around a humble 1988 1-cent penny from the United States, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent. Yet somehow this ordinary-looking piece of copper-plated zinc skyrocketed in value to an astonishing $221 million due to a unique combination of errors, minting anomalies, and mysterious factors that have captivated collectors, historians, and investors for decades. So grab your seat because this is not just about a coin, it's about a phenomenon that has puzzled the US Mint and stirred massive interest across the globe, and to understand how something worth just a penny can reach such a jaw-dropping valuation, we have to go back to the origin of the coin. Minted in the year 1988 at a time when the US Mint was already transitioning between different die types and experimenting with the Lincoln cent design, particularly the reverse of the coin which features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, and for years numismatists have noted variations between coins minted in Philadelphia and Denver, yet in 1988, an incredibly rare subset of coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint appeared to contain a reverse design that was meant for a previous year, specifically a reverse that matched the 1989 cent instead of the 1 standard to 1988, creating What is now known among collectors as the 1988 reverse of 1989 variety or RDV006 designation, and this anomaly alone makes the coin valuable. But what catapulted one specific specimen to such an extraordinary value of $221 million was not just this reverse design mix-up, but a nearly impossible series of additional errors all present in a single coin, starting with a dramatic doubling of the obverse lettering, which when examined under magnification reveals a clear and indisputable doubled die error affecting the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," anomalies which suggest a flawed hubbing process where the die was impressed more than once out of alignment. But that's only the beginning, because further examination of the coin reveals a misplaced mint mark, another incredibly rare error where the letter P denoting the Philadelphia Mint was not only present, which is already unusual for a penny of that time, but it was positioned in a way inconsistent with any known strike patterns of the era, leading experts to speculate that this could have been either an experimental die test that accidentally entered circulation or a clandestine piece struck by a mint insider aware of its potential value. And as we delve deeper, it's important to note that mint mark anomalies in general already carry significant value among collectors, especially when paired with other errors. And the 1988 cent in question displays another astonishing feature, a planchette anomaly, which means the metal blank used to strike the coin was itself irregular, showing signs that it may have been intended for a different denomination entirely, or even from a foreign batch of blanks that was erroneously fed into the cent production line, causing subtle differences in weight, luster, and composition, and when subjected to advanced metallurgical analysis, the coin revealed traces of elements not typically found in US cents of the era, adding yet another layer of intrigue and potential value. And when you start stacking all of these issues, the RDV006 reverse design mix-up, the dramatic double die obverse, the misplaced and anomalous mint mark, and the off-spec planchette, all within a single coin, what you get is something beyond rare, something that exists once in a generation if at all. And if you're wondering why this specific coin reached the staggering figure of $221 million, the answer lies not only in its unprecedented accumulation of errors, but in the timing of its discovery, the mystery surrounding its origin, and the intense bidding war it triggered among elite collectors and private institutions who recognized its singular status as a coin unlike any other in recorded numismatic history. And while many error coins do fetch significant sums, especially double dies like the famous 1955 Lincoln cent or the 1969 RS variant, those typically reach values in the hundreds of thousands or perhaps low millions in the rarest cases, but never before had a 1 cent coin broken into 9-figure territory. And this moment in numismatic history shocked the market, with rumors swirling of private investors in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East competing in a secretive auction for the piece, ultimately driving the price up to an unbelievable $221 million before the hammer fell. And ever since that sale, collectors have been scouring their own pocket change, old coin jars, and inherited collections in the hopes of discovering a similar coin, though none have been authenticated with the exact same set of characteristics. And while thousands of 1988 pennies still exist, only a small number contain the RDV006 reverse, and even fewer show any kind of doubling or mint mark oddity. And so far, only one verified specimen has combined all of these features together, making it truly one of a kind. And to this day, the identity of the buyer remains undisclosed, fueling further speculation and myth-making around the coin, with some suggesting it was acquired by a reclusive billionaire while others believe it now sits in the private vault of a global museum or numismatic foundation waiting to be revealed to the public someday. And the story has not only inspired collectors but also sparked renewed interest in error coins overall, as hobbyists and investors alike realize that even the smallest details, an extra line, a shifted letter, a misplaced design, can completely change the destiny of an ordinary piece of currency, turning it from common change into a historical artifact worth more than some entire collections. And while the vast majority of 1988 cents will never be worth more than a cent or two, the existence of this singular piece challenges everything we thought we knew about coin valuation, reminding us that minting errors, especially those involving transitional designs, can slip through even the strictest quality control measures, and that the US mint's history is filled with fascinating anomalies that sometimes go unnoticed for decades until discovered by a sharp-eyed collector or a lucky novice. And with modern technology now allowing for more precise authentication and analysis, we may continue to uncover previously unknown varieties. But for now, the 1988 penny valued at $221 million stands alone, a monument to chance, craftsmanship, and the enduring passion of those who seek meaning in the smallest of artifacts. So next time you receive change at a store or dig through an old drawer, take a second look at that penny. It might just be more than what it seems, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to uncover a hidden treasure in plain sight, because in the world of coins, even a cent can hold a story worth millions. One of the most astonishing tales in the world of rare coins, a story that will captivate collectors, historians, and curious minds alike as we explore the unbelievable journey of the 1983 D1-cent penny from the United States, a coin that, despite its humble face value of just 1 cent, has baffled experts, stunned auctioneers, and caught the attention of the world due to its estimated value of a staggering $12 for $12 million, a figure that seems absolutely outrageous at first glance, yet is grounded in a complex and layered web of minting errors, material anomalies, historical peculiarities, and collector fervor that elevates this tiny copper-colored disc into the realm of financial legend and numismatic lore. So stay tuned as we peel back the layers of mystery, detail the exact mechanisms and flukes that contribute to its astronomical worth, and explore the conditions, mishaps, and rare probabilities that have turned this everyday item into a record-breaking symbol of value far exceeding its intended use. And to begin this journey, it's important to understand that the 1983 D penny was produced at the Denver Mint, a facility responsible for churning out billions of coins each year. And while most of these coins roll off the presses in uniform consistency and enter circulation without any distinction, once in a while something extraordinary happens, whether due to human oversight, machine miscalibration, or an inexplicable deviation in procedure. And in the case of the 1983 D penny, all these factors seem to have collided in a perfect storm of numismatic rarity, beginning with the coin's composition, because in 1982 the US Mint transitioned from a primarily copper alloy penny to a predominantly zinc-based penny with a thin copper plating to save costs, and although by 1983 this change should have been fully implemented, there have been discoveries of 1983 pennies mistakenly struck on the older copper planchets, which are significantly heavier than their zinc counterparts, and this discrepancy can be confirmed through precise weighing, with copper versions typically coming in around 3.11 grams as opposed to the 2.5 grams of the zinc versions. And if a 1983 D penny is found to weigh closer to the copper standard, it may very well be one of the ultra-rare error coins that slipped through quality control unnoticed, a fact that makes it an object of intense scrutiny and interest. And beyond the material composition, additional minting anomalies, such as double die strikes, off-center errors, broad strikes, die cracks, and most notably, mint mark inconsistencies, all contribute exponentially to the coin's rarity and value. And in the case of the 1983 D penny, there are reports and verified instances where the mint mark appears to have been applied manually, a practice phased out in subsequent years in favor of automated minting. And any inconsistency or misalignment in this mark, especially when combined with a rare planchet error or die variety, can catapult the value into astronomical territory. And this is exactly the kind of specimen that has generated the legendary figure of $$ for $12 million in valuation, with coin experts and collectors willing to bid sky-high prices at auctions or private sales when such an elusive and pristine example surfaces. And the value is also tied intrinsically to the condition or grade of the coin, where coins graded at MS68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC command the highest premiums due to their near-perfect state, with no visible wear, brilliant luster, and strong eye appeal. And if one of these ultra-rare error coins is also in such mint condition, it becomes exponentially more desirable, attracting bids from institutions, elite collectors, and even museums that recognize its historical significance. And some numismatists argue that this particular 1983 D penny represents a convergence of transitional error, mint mark anomaly, and flawless condition to such a degree that its rarity becomes virtually singular, perhaps even unique. And with uniqueness comes unparalleled value, because in the world of collectibles, the law of supply and demand becomes intensely magnified when supply equals 1. And although skeptics may scoff at the idea of a penny fetching hundreds of millions, the historical precedent exists in the form of other high-priced rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. And yet what sets the 1983 D penny apart is its modernity, its presence within living memory, and its incredible escalation from pocket change to priceless artifact in just a few decades. And the intrigue doesn't stop there, because the story also involves a fair amount of mystery and speculation, including questions about how such an error could have persisted through modern minting protocols, how it managed to enter circulation undetected, and how it remained hidden or unrecognized for so long, and part of the answer lies in the sheer volume of pennies produced annually, where billions are minted and distributed, making it possible for one or two extraordinary errors to slip through the cracks, and another part lies in the public's general disregard for pennies, which often get tossed into jars, drawers, or even discarded altogether, meaning that a potential $dollar for 12 million treasure could be sitting unnoticed in someone's coin jar or lost between couch cushions at this very moment, and this potential is what fuels the dream and obsession of coin hunters, treasure seekers, and amateur enthusiasts who now inspect every 1983 penny they find with eager anticipation and magnifying glasses, hoping to spot the telltale signs of error, weight discrepancy, or misaligned mint marks. And there's a psychological element too, a romanticism and thrill associated with finding hidden value in something so mundane. A classic underdog story of a 1-cent coin rising to mythical prominence due to a fluke of fate and metallurgy, and the number $dollar for 12 million is not an arbitrary estimate, but a figure associated with a unique piece rumored to be in possession of a private collector who reportedly rejected all offers and placed a theoretical valuation based on its uniqueness, condition, and provenance, with appraisers corroborating the plausibility of such a number when all rarity conditions align in perfect harmony. And although not every 1983 penny is worth this much, the very existence of such a coin opens the door for infinite possibilities, discussions, and what ifs, making it one of the most fascinating subjects in coin collecting history. And for anyone interested in hunting down one of these elusive coins, the key factors to examine include the coin's weight, which can be checked using a high-precision digital scale, and any anomalies in the mint mark, doubling effects especially around the date or lettering, and overall condition, and submitting suspicious specimens to professional grading services is a must for authentication, and if authenticated, even a lesser error variety from 1983 can fetch thousands or tens of thousands depending on the grade, with each added anomaly multiplying its worth. And so in conclusion, the story of the 1983 1-cent penny valued at $dollar for 12 million is a testament to how history, human error, collector enthusiasm, and the thrill of the hunt can transform an otherwise overlooked item into a cultural and financial phenomenon, a beacon of hope for treasure hunters, and a stunning reminder that sometimes the smallest things can carry the greatest value.